interviewing Catherine Garces, radio host of Hablando con Catherine, entrepreneur and public speaker, to discuss female-identifying youth and Latinx empowerment.
And finally, we're committed to bringing you the news, views, and info to go on this special episode of the Report Roundtable Discussion. I'm Jorge Flores.
And I'm Amanda Mendoza. As you can see, we are continuing to practice social distancing and are going to conduct our episodes via Zoom for the foreseeable future. Although we cannot be together in person, we invite you all to continue to be a part of the discussion. Follow us on Twitter at The Report CSUF or on our Titan TV Instagram at Titan TV CSUF to keep in touch with us and view our new content. Well, first off, I'd like to say welcome, Catherine. Can you give us a little bit of an introduction?
Well, where do I start? I'm very passionate, about you guys and making sure that anything that I can do to help you grow in the near future. My background, my parents are from Ecuador. I was born in New York, raised in Ecuador. At a certain age, I came to the United States to finish my studies, my college education, which I have a degree in hotel restaurant management. And I went on, and one day I decided to just be an entrepreneur, learning so many things, with my father. He had his own business. He built a great, successful business. Unfortunately, he wasn't the planner in the financial aspect, but I saw that, and it kind of like hit me hard, having going to private school and having a comfortable lifestyle, seeing that all of a sudden everything changed because his lack of the financial knowledge. Once I finished college, I got an offer to start a corporate position at a hotel in New York. And then next thing you know, I got an offer in Los Angeles. So, I figured, why not? I was always that traveler, that adventurer, see where life takes me. I always said, make that step, and whatever brings to you, because you live once, right? So I think that's the opportunity that you have to take it and not wonder if could have, should have, would have, because it doesn't mean anything later on. So I took the opportunity, and 25 years I am here now. I venture in so many industries. I've worked in the fashion industry, in the jewelry industry, in the art industry, so many different industries. I just try it. It doesn't matter. I think I had my college education. I put it aside and I said, okay, you know what? I want to try everything that comes my way. So I did a little bit about so many things, arts. I did dancing. I did, every little bit of everything. And the entrepreneur side, I get it from my entire family. Like my grandmother, my dad, my mom, they have that entrepreneurial spirit, and seeing that, it's in your blood. So I figured, why not? So now today, I focus a lot on doing a lot of business development for companies, and we see what companies we can buy to make them bigger and expand them, or projects that need to be, diverse, or anything that we can do to grow a different new type of industry. So the last one we had was a restaurant. We were working on trying that restaurant, and all of a sudden, we were just planning everything was launched, and then we need COVID stop because of the pandemic. The liquor license was giving us a little bit of struggle. Somebody comes and say, what can I buy off your restaurant? So we looked at each other and we're like, sure, it's like, why not? Let's see the next venture. I think when and you're secure of what you want to do, you just take the next venture and ride with it right away, right? And you're just excited about what's coming next. So, then I have also a book out where I empower Latinas, and I talk about how to support women, how to, that culture mentality that we have. I talk about that. And there's other women that I collaborated, phenomenal women that have done so much for the community. So all these things that I have done, in my life, I always look back and I say, what else can I do so that I can impact somebody's life? There's a saying, Maya Angelou said, people are going to forget what you did. People are going to forget, what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So the fact that I can make someone feel or empower anybody in a different way, I think that's just a gift for me that has no price. So I have 3 phenomenal kids. Sebastian, he's going to school for psychology. Sabrina for forensic psychology. She also is trying to see in venturing herself in the music industry. And Santi, he's a senior in high school, and he's still, enjoying his teen years.
Catherine, it's a pleasure having you once again. And I mean, you are a multi-talented person with so many backgrounds in different industries. So we would like to know, talking about the radio industry, how did you become a radio host?
You know how that happened? So I go to Miami for this convention, Hispanicized. And I'm walking around, and there's this guy that owns a radio show. And he approaches me, and we start talking. And he says to me, what do you do? And I'm like, so I told him a little bit, doing business development. And he goes, have you ever done radio? I was like, I'm a public speaker. I mean, I've done a lot of university speeches. I go, I've done radio when I've been invited and when a friend of mine have asked me, but radio? So he does a test right there. He'll sit down. I'm going to do a test. And I'm like, okay, you know me, sure, why not? Next thing you know, he tells me, you know what? I love what we did in the 5 minutes that we talked. Let's start in May. So, in the industry, people tell you, I'll call you. Let's see. I was like, okay, sure. Here's my number. Call me. May came. We started talking. We launched our first radio, and it's 4 years now, and we love it. We have done so many amazing things. I tell everybody, I am not a radio. I didn't go to school to be a journalist. I wanted to at the beginning, but I just do it with so much love. And the fact that has me so in love with this show is that I am able to educate my community. I'm able to touch subjects that you would agree with me, guys, Amanda, Jorge, that we don't touch, that we're not allowed to speak about, right? It's taboo. So Jose, which is my co-host, we touch the subjects. We talk about things that, cállate, no digas eso, like you're not supposed to say that. But you know what? I was your age one time, and I wasn't able to say certain things. And I want you guys to be able to speak up and say. So if I set the example and Jose and I set the example, why not? Why is it that we have to shut up and not share what we want to share? So we do say certain things, a little bit spicy sometimes, but those are subjects that we should talk about in our community, that we decide to look away. Meanwhile, it's there. So many things that we're not talking about in a community because we are embarrassed, or because we're not supposed to, or because as women, we have to be careful, we have to be quiet, and it's not like that. With Jose and I, we talk about everything and anything. So we're going to talk about so many things. I mean, we talk about anywhere from health, insurance, teaching, how to empower your kids to go to college, how to help them find a career. I mean, you name it, and we're open to discussion. Like people tell us, my friend of mine told me the other day, hey, why don't you talk about the flag? Latinos don't know about the American flag as much as they should, and there's a history behind it. So we talked about the flag. So anybody that comes and brings me something that it kind of, spikes their attention, I will gladly do it. So I'm open to people giving me reasons to speak about it. In reality, no, I didn't go to school to be a radio show. But like I said, again, if you're going to love it, and you're going to try it, go for it, because you never know. There's a lot of people in the industry that didn't go to school for it, but they decide to try it, have fun with it, and roll with it. I mean, you guys do phenomenal. I mean, Jorge, I'm so impressed the way you handle that camera. Amanda, you're doing so great, but in reality, I didn't, yes, I was polished since I was little. My mom constantly put me through so many things. I was always in dance and all that. But I mean, I did it, and I think it's perfect because when they ask me, I say the same thing. It was just something that I wanted to try. 4 years later, we're still here.
Well, I really love listening to you speak about how you're trying to empower other people, and like with your radio show, how you're trying to impact your community. And what's very interesting is I hear many people saying they want to ensure that they're telling their community something, that they're telling their friends and family things that can help empower them. But I'd like to ask you specifically, what makes you so passionate about empowering females, youth, and Latinx people?
We grew up, like I said, in our culture, right? You can do it, but your brother can, right? Or if you're gonna go somewhere, go with your brother. I was that girl. And I would have to beg my brother, please come with me, come, let's go, let's do this together. My brother would be like, fine, I'll go with you, right? Or why can you be there late, but your brother can't? Right? Or I would hear, this one thing that my dad always protected when my mom's like, no, él es varón. My brother's like, no, you can do it too. Go. If you want to do it, try it, don't worry about it. So I did have parents that empower that in me, but sometimes they didn't, because it was like kind of like a catch-22, like, okay, your brother can be home late, but you can't, right? And I didn't understand that until I became a mom. And I was talking to my daughter about it. And I said, I agree with you wanting to do anything you want to do. Try everything you want to try, because for years in our culture we've been able to be taught that we're the mom, we stay home, we empower our man, we agree with what they say, we don't have a voice. And I didn't grow up in a family like that. I grew up in a family where the women were warriors. Who told my grandmother she couldn't have the last say? My grandmother was like the patriarch of the family, and whatever she said, it was done. Nobody questioned her. My mom, she had such a strong character, and she raised 5 children, and she did it so well, and she was the mom that stayed home, and it was like everything was for a reason. So I saw that in our community, how many women get, especially still, you go back to South America, there's a lot of women that are victim of domestic violence. Why? Because they don't have this support system that a woman can do everything and anything. I remember my dad said to me, it's not about competing with men. It's about being part of a team. If you guys become a team, you guys are going to work together better in a relationship, in a marriage, whatever it is, even if it's in the work. Men are going to listen to you if you have a voice, but if you don't try to compete with them, you want to try to be part of the team. And I think a lot of women have that problem, that a lot of times they don't. They're like, oh, the men's side, the women's side. And it's like, wait a minute, how about if we unite, we're going to go further. Even if women, it's another problem with women. I see women empowerment, but in reality, it's not women empowerment. It's, let's see what she has better than me, and I can hate on that. And I'm very against that. I'm one of those people that if I see someone bashing a woman, I'm going to be there and say, wait a minute, hold on, oh, but did you see? So what? So what? I always say that. If she drives a great car, who cares? Who cares? Applaud her for driving that amazing car and say, hey, let's go for a ride. Don't raid in her parade. If anything, applaud. And that is, I think, a problem that we have as women, that we lack that, that support system when it comes to growing, being successful, entrepreneurship. It's always about competition. With men, you see how they cover themselves? They're always covering for each other. They're always helping each other. And a lot of times we lack that in women, when it comes to friendship and partying and all that, but when it comes to success and when it comes to entrepreneurship and growing, the image and all that, there's always that little bit of like jealousy and lack of support. So I saw that a lot. And that to me was just I was so disappointed to see that so much, I was very sad to see it in my surroundings. And I just didn't, I always said it's hard to change an entire world, but one life at a time, you can make an impact. So I started joining this women group, and I became that woman that, be careful what you ask Catherine, because she's going to tell you how she feels, right? Don't ask me if you don't want to know. So I think if we as leaders do what we are supposed to do, we're setting an example. It's not do as I say, it's do as I do. So you see me doing, like you said, I read about you. I see you're here. I see you're there. I am doing. I'm not talking about it. Because if I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I don't do for my community, then I won't become a leader so someone can follow my steps. And I have to be careful because I am very involved with you guys. I'm very involved with the youth. I'm about empowering. So I know that everything I'm doing, you guys are watching. I have young girls telling me, I don't even know, and they're following me, what I'm doing on Instagram, on social media, and they'll make a comment, oh my God, Catherine, that's great. I'm going, oh my God, these girls are watching everything I'm doing. More so for me to better myself as a woman so that you guys can feel more empowered and want to follow me and follow my steps and come for me for advice. I have a daughter and I know that she's my biggest audience, and I know that she's watching everything I do. I watch her, I hear her comments, I hear what she says. So that to me, starting from home, everything starts from home. Why not? So yes, it is something so passionate to me more than anything. I work with women. I work in women's shelter. I help women become financially successful on their own. I've done group of people like that. Out of 20 women, about 16 of them became financially independent, left their abuser. And to me, how do you take that away from me? That's priceless, that I was able to impact so many lives. And maybe I won't see them again, but I know that I was part of that little trail, that little piece that they needed. I was that little push, and that makes me happy. I'm okay if you forget my name or whatever, but in my heart, my self-sufficient love saw it, and it makes me so happy to see that.
Catherine, and we love that mentality that you have. And we're living times of so much of the political tension, intolerance, disrespect in our community. So how can we promote diversity and inclusion in our communities through our interactions with other people?
I deal with that every day, right? Everywhere I go, the groups have diversity. It's about not only diversity in color, but diversity in race, right? We're Latinos, there's Cubans, there's Mexicans, there's different. I always like to be inclusive. I always like to have a diverse group of women. I don't only hang out with in my group of friends, you'll see there's a Mexican, there's one from Bolivia, there's one Colombia. Why? Not that I do it on purpose, but because, they can never say, oh, Catherine only hangs out with Mexican people, right? So how do you empower these women? When you go out to a group and you go out to an event, there's a diversity. When I'm hiring people, I don't look, I'm not big on, let me be honest with you, I'm not big on resumes. I am big on experiences. I am big on how do you deal with the community? How do you deal with people? Because somebody told me once in a big opportunity, a big job I landed, and he said something to me that, people say things to you that stick into your heart, right? And you're like, wow, this person said something to me and it wrote for life. And he said something to me. He goes, I don't know if I'm doing the best thing by hiring 12 people for this job, because it was for 12 people in the country. And I know that you have the support of the community. I know that you have so much support system. And I can teach so many things, so many people, many different things, but I never can teach them passion. I can never give or teach anybody passion. When you love what you're doing, it's going to come out of you. You're going to sweat it. You're going to feel it. You're going to love it, because every day you're doing what you love. I tell my kids, oh, Mom, at the beginning when they didn't know where to go, and it's okay. It's about you becoming someone that love what you do every single day. You're going to wake up every day. It shouldn't be work. People used to tell me, oh my God, Catherine, you're driving every day to Orange County. What is it to you if I am? I love what I'm doing. I don't care to sit in the car and drive for an hour. I am going to change and help people prosper, or talk to people, or educate people, or do a business, or create a business, or mentor a business. I'm loving it. What is it to you? Plus, I use the hour in my car drive to talk to other people, or to do more connections, touch up with other people, talk to other people. What does it matter? At the end of the day, I'm doing what I love. So when it comes to diversity, I always like to include everybody. It's not about you're light skin, you're dark skin, you're better, you're gay, you're straight. I grew up in a large LGBTQ family. I have a lot of cousins that are part of that community. Am I a big supporter? 110%. I advocate for that community with my heart and soul. The other day, somebody DM'd me, are you gay? I'm like, I'm not gay, but I believe everybody receives respect and equality. And I'm not here to judge you, because, if somebody says, see, you learn from people. When you're pointing, there's 3 fingers pointing at you. So you don't judge, you don't point, you include everyone. You don't judge someone by the way they're dressed. You don't judge someone by the way they look. Because you know what? That person can be a multimillionaire and you're turning your back on them. Or that person can be the future leader and you're turning your back on them because of the way they looked. So you can't ever judge anyone by the way they look, by their skin color, because they're ugly, because they're pretty, because they're fat, because they're skinny. To me, everybody is just a person, And if I teach my kids all the time, I raise my kids with sayings, and I tell them colors are beautiful, but when it comes to people, I want you guys to be colorblind. I don't want you to look at color. I want you to love everybody equally, give everybody an opportunity, and that's the way I teach at home. I have to do that I have to do that for my community. So big on women empowerment, extremely big. When a woman reaches out to me, I don't know what to do to help her, especially if she reaches out to me on her as a single mom. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. You know, I was sitting in a car with a single mom the other day. We went to an event and I was talking to her. She was picking my brain and she was telling me, and there I am thinking, how do I help her? How do I help her? Like, how do I help her become, you know, that woman that she wants to become? And she can, you know, she can. And at times I tell them, look, if I see the potential in you and you don't see it in yourself, there's nothing I can do. But just remember, I am no better than you, Amanda. I am no better than anybody, any other woman. I just did it and I tried it. So if I'm here doing it, so can any other woman. You know, no other woman can say that they can't be in my shoes. They can't. They can't. You can be the next, you know, president of the United States. You can be the next city council. You can be whatever you want to be, but you have to believe in yourself. So, and that to me is always pushing women to do better and better and better. And they tell me, oh my God, Catherine, I admire you. I respect you. So admire and respect yourself. You can do it. You know, how do you talk? Prepare yourself. You know, get some, I have certification on public speaking. Do it. I did it. Here's a link. Go get it. So I don't ever say I'm better than you or I'm doing better than you. I want to see, how can I show you? Let me show you. Let me help you so that way you can be next to me and we can do it together and we do it faster. That's my mentality.
Well, Catherine, after hearing this advice you've given us about ensuring that you're empowering others, ensuring that you're staying confident and educating your community, I think that's all amazing advice. But first and foremost, I like to ask you, what is the biggest piece of advice that has been the most helpful to you in your life that you would like to pass on to others?
You know, I've had a great amount of mentors. I've been really blessed with people in my life that I've encountered in different stages of my life, you know. And the best advice I've ever gotten from many different mentors is stay true to yourself. Don't change who you are for no one, because you have your own light and you shine with your own light. You know, don't worry about what other people are shining or what people are doing. Worry about what you can do. Worry about that light that you have that you can bring a value, but always grow, always be better, always better yourself. Learn more. How can you empower yourself more? What can I learn from you, Amanda, today? What can I learn from Jorge today? Always be open to learning. Don't have that, you know, sense of I know it all, I'm better than you. You know, humbleness opens many doors. When you're a humble human being, every door opens for you because everybody wants to be around you. Everybody wants to help you, just like you want to help them. So to me, stay true to yourself, better yourself, educate yourself, learn something new every day. Every day. I learn from my kids all the time. You know, I learn from people all the time. You know, I never ever say, oh, I know it. Oh, I know. So there's things that I don't know. Google's my best friend sometimes, you know, but I always say that I'm open for anyone. The youth, you guys have taught me so much, you know. Children, the DACA kids have taught me so much about resilience, perseverance, you know. So to me, it's staying true to yourself, loving what you do. Don't lose your focus. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Watch them let you do it. Watch them. Let them watch you do it so that you can say, oh, I couldn't do it. Because you know what? Something you can't tell Catherine is, I don't think you can. Wrong. So, you know, and that's one of the things. Stay true to yourself. Always want to better you. Challenge yourself every day. Don't worry about who's in competition. Compete with yourself so you can be better every day and say, okay, I did this yesterday. What can I do better today? What can I learn today? You know, I'm 48 years old and I still want to do things. I can't wait till I go, you know, one day I want to go skydiving. You know, it's, to me, I always say too, a lot of you guys, the sky is not the limit because there's always the universe.
That is so powerful, Catherine. And let's talk about the future and your prediction with our next generations. What are some hopes? What are those hopes that you have for our generation in the future? What kind of things do you think that we need to apply in order for us to succeed and inspire other people?
I bet on you guys a lot. I do. I bet on you guys 100%. You guys are a group of kids in this generation that have taught us to be more conscious, to respect more, to love humanity more, to have a little more of consciousness for animals and human beings. That's your generation. You know, you guys woke us, you know, and you guys brought us to another level. Things that I fought all the time that I wasn't heard because I was the only one thinking. I was born in the wrong time, you know. I was always that young spirit. I was always that, you know, thinking ahead and doing things different. You know, I was like, you're weird. I wasn't weird. I was just doing things different, you know. And I think that you guys have so many more opportunities, you know, and I hope that you guys are able to break a lot of barriers. I hope that you guys will bring more peace to this world. I hope that, oh, you're gonna cry. I hope that you guys make all your dreams come true. That you guys make your parents' sacrifice worth it. That your parents can live their dream through you guys. This is a land of opportunities. You guys can make any dream come true. Don't listen to negativity because you guys have all the opportunities there. Everything is set for you guys. Just take it. There's blueprints for everything you guys want to do. Go ahead and do it. You know, there's nothing impossible. We already had a Black president. We already had a businessman that became a president. We have a woman vice president. Come on, guys. There's nothing you guys cannot do. And I know that I have all my bets on you guys. You guys are going to make this world a better place. I know. I know because of the consciousness that you guys have, the passion. You fight for your stuff. You know, you guys are fighters. You guys are warriors. And I see that in every single one of you guys as immigrant kids, as parents, kids that come from parents of you know, diverse, multicultural parents, you know, Asian and Mexican and all these diverse cultures. You know, at times I was like, back in my time, seeing these kids were victim of bullying. Today, you guys fight for each other and support one another. There's group system, there's support system. And you know what? Your generation, it's a sensitive generation, but is a generation that has done the most in many ways. You know, there's more consciousness about earth, animals, human beings, respect. You know, to me, the possibilities are endless. And what do I expect from you guys? I expect everything from you guys because you guys can do everything and anything. So I see every one of you guys and I see opportunities, you know, even the ones that don't have the blessing and the opportunity to go to college. I know that that kid will become a successful entrepreneur. I always tell all the kids, I go, I believe in you. Oh, but I don't know what I want to do. I don't have oh no, there's something inside of you that you're going to be good at. Look for it. It's there. I know you are. And I know that one day I'll see you and I'm going to see you and I'm going to tell you, I told you so, you know?
Wow, Catherine, that was a beautiful statement. You said that very well and very articulately and fluent. Wow, I'm just astounded. But before we go, I'd like to ask, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience before we go?
I think you guys need to try, because I know it's hard, try to find a way where your parents can become more knowledgeable of the American culture and the changes that have been happening. Try to find a way to be creative where your parents can be exposed to it so you guys have more support, you know? And I think if you guys can do that, you guys will have more support from your parents. And I don't see that a lot. I see that a lot of parents are not listening to you guys. You guys are talking, oh, okay. But I wish you guys can focus just a little bit more on trying to be your dad and your mom, be the inclusive part, you know? We need to be have more inclusion in parents and let them see, bring them, invite them to your, you know, your presentations, the things you do for the community. Let them see what you guys are doing. Invite them, you know, make them part, tell them you guys have to be there. It's an obligation. They say parents must attend, you know, and find them to be more involved. And I think that if you involve your parents more in what you're doing, they're going to understand a little more and they're going to be more supportive. I see a lot of you guys working hard, trying hard, bettering yourself, but you're not including your parents, you know, and telling them, Mom, you have to go. I have to have you there. They're requiring a parent. And sometimes they don't. But the fact that you say that, parents will obey and go and they'll be like, wow, Mija's doing this. I didn't know you were doing that. You know, I hear a lot of parents when I've had, you know, meetings with kids and all that, yo no sabía that my daughter's doing this. Because they don't know, you know, we get lost in translation. And I understand you guys because remember, I was you guys years ago. So what happens is parents get lost in translation. They're assuming, but they don't really know. Why? Because they didn't experience that in their country. They didn't have this big opportunity that you guys are having. So if you would expose your parents more to what you guys are doing, I think parents will be more of an open mind and they will support you more.
And with that, that's all the time we have today on this summer edition of the Report Roundtable Discussion. Catherine, thank you so much for joining us today. We truly appreciate it. Have a safe summer, everyone, and stay tuned for more news, views, and info. I'm Amanda Mendoza.
And I'm Jorge Flores. As always, stay fresh, Fullerton.